Hello.
Goes up with the silver ring drop here.
It's easy to plan stuff. Planned this, rewrote it. And life does not go. So kind of bear with me. Sorry for any delays here. I'll try and get through what I've got here. When I was writing this, it dawned on me that there are 500 NJCAA programs across all three divisions. And if you look at all three divisions, 44 teams get to have the experience you're having now. 16 down in Missouri at the same exact moment, 16 here, and 12 last week with Division III. So the athletes and the coaches that are here, congratulations before you begin play tomorrow. It is a special time for you, and I hope you cherish it. But please also be aware that right now, at those other 460 schools, there are something like 7,000 volleyball players that would trade their teeth or thousands of dollars or their grade point average to be sitting in your chair right now just once for just one match, including listening to bad speeches. So I hope some of this sticks with people, whether it's coaches, players, and then thank yous. And it's going to kind of go in that order. So players, this is the point that you guys can kind of look at your cell phones and check messages. Because we're going to start with coaches. Coaches, I don't know if this applies to you or not. I've had 13 months since I had to step down due to COVID. I had 13 months to consider a lot of stuff in coaching and sports and in life. So this may affect you, it may not. You may know people it affects, you may not. I am up here by the grace of the NJCAA for the number of matches I won and the awards Mr. Keating mentioned with the region coaches and all that. And in the end, I don't care about any of that. Don't care about that, what? It's not what I want to be remembered for as a coach. And this is the one moment I get to share what I want to be remembered for. What I'd like to be remembered for is helping young women learn to gain confidence and leadership skills that carry on beyond college. As the keynote said, that's where the rubber meets the road. So I'm proud in my 18 years of the NJCAA that we followed the rules. We set an example, following the rules, holding young people to high standards, not taking shortcuts academically or athletically. There's a guy named Doug Glanville, baseball player, works for ESPN, and one of the things he said is that when you take shortcuts, he was talking about steroids, you undermine fair competition. You celebrate something that has nothing to do with true excellence in sport. The only way that works is to do things the right way. So coaches, for the sake of the scoreboard, don't make concessions on your integrity, please. Once you do that, it's a slippery slope, and you can rationalize many things. What's the harm if I did it once? I can do it again and again. Everyone's doing it. NASCAR, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And that's not quite true. If there are gray areas, you know what they are. Do things the right way. You set an example for the players on your team. You set an example for your assistants, for other coaches in your department, for your athletic communities. You need to be an exemplar of behavior. Because in the end, this sounds weird in a national tournament, there's a lot more stuff important than that scoreboard. Your athletes have dozens of things that are a higher priority than volleyball, if we were speaking the truth. That may be their grades, it most certainly should be their family, it may be a smoochy boyfriend. okay? Volleyball is sport, it is not life. There are dozens of things those athletes want. Your job, your responsibility as the coach or an administrator is to create a positive, holistic experience for the young people in your program. What message do you send breaking rules, starting practice on July 5th? Switching uniforms on your players in order to confuse the other team. Playing an injured player for the sake of winning on the scoreboard when you can permanently damage that athlete. If you regularly put your players in tiers at practice or at matches, or is that coaching or is that bullying? You know how to behave. As a coach, please do so. Do things the right way, because it will add up and you will turn out amazing young women. Okay, that's it for the coaches. For the athletes, and this is where you should pay attention. There are three big things that I told recruits and reaffirmed to my athletes once they got on campus in August. The first I already mentioned, we ain't breaking rules. That ain't happening. Rules are rules. Athletes, you know this, and you should act that way. It does not matter whether you are All-American or you get in for 2 points in an entire season. All right? And I can say that with a straight face because we missed out on multiple trips to nationals by enforcing rules. Sort of kills me. I'd love a chance at trophies for those years. But when rules are broken, they have to apply to Michael Jordan just as they do to, I don't know, whoever was sitting at the end of the Bulls bench. You as athletes, your personal integrity and behavior is important. Because just as coaches or role models are for you, you are role models. Whether you think about that on a regular basis or not. For the high school seniors, who will be the teammates of freshmen next year. For the high schoolers who come to your matches. For the junior high kids and the little kids that come to the matches and go, oh my God, she is so awesome. There is no greater thrill I've seen with the Lincoln Land athletes than having a little kid come up and ask for your autograph as a 19-year-old. That is power. That is excitement. And it is awesome 4 and 5 years when you go down the road, hey, I watched you, I remember you playing. They don't remember me. They don't remember the scoreboard. They remember you, the athlete. They are dreaming of becoming you. So I ask, keep that in mind when you play. Play with passion. Play with fun. Be the role model those younger girls need. The second thing that I always told players, the people around you right now at those tables, for you guys, the people on your team, these should be the people that become friends for life. The ones that you will remain in touch with down the road. And I truly hope that this is the case for you and your teammates. That the bonds of your friendship that you have now remain strong in 5, 10, and 30 years. I really hope for that. And I would be excited if I could look in the future and know it. The examples from Lincoln, I have a pair of players from 2015. I don't understand what I'm about to say, just for the record. Their Snapchat streak is up to 2,500. You guys understand what that means, so you guys get the point. Okay, great. Another alumni that I had, when she got married, all but 2 of her teammates were at the wedding. 12 players made it to the wedding. And of the other 2, one was out of the country and the other was pregnant and on bed rest. I think that's a lame excuse for missing the wedding, but you know. And finally, the team that we had in 2010, they still have their 13-person text message group active to this day. This is friendship, guys. This is why I coach, and knowing that these people remain friends. These are the people you are sitting with right now at your tables. Okay? Keep that in mind. They are the reasons you play. These are the relationships you are going to carry forward with marriages, babies, everything. They are going to be your support system and your cheer squad. These friendships are more valuable than anything else you're going to get out of your college years, including the classes you sleep in the back of. I am thankful and very privileged that my alumni now refer to me as a friend. Still call me Dietz, but I'm a friend. The third thing that I have for you is actually serious, and it is something that I had to experience last year. At some point, volleyball is going to end. That may be at the end of this tournament if you're not playing on and you're a sophomore. That may be in 2 years. It may be due to an injury. It may be after you've squeezed out every possible year of eligibility. But it will end. Given COVID, I mean, that's like 7 years for some people. So my advice to you is have a plan. Know what you're going to do when volleyball ends. 2 Septembers ago, I had to step down due to post-COVID lung crap. And I had people worried what I was going to do, if I was going to be okay. And I told them I have an exit plan. You need to have that plan. That plan kept me safe, kept me going. Work on it, revise it. Make sure you have it. Know what you're going to do. It will make the eventual transition to retired athlete much easier. Because in the end, you are much more than your volleyball ability. That does not define who you are as a person or what you do with your life once you put retired in front of your name. With every set of guidelines I gave out to teams, our team rules, at the top in big print was always the expectations of players. These are the priorities I believe you should have in life regardless. Number 1, your family. Above all. Number 2, your academics. Number 3, that's where volleyball comes in. After a couple years, I got cute, and then I would put 9,274 boys. These top 3, though, I can't do anything about boys. The family, the academics, and volleyball, that's the legacy that I hope to have with people. It's their accomplishments in those regards, the work they put in outside of the gym. So that in preparing for this, I went and looked, and over time, 95% of the players who played for me graduated. Of those, 91% graduated with their bachelor's degree. Of the ones that got their bachelor's degree, 27% have gone on to get their master's. And of those, 20% of them have picked up their doctorates or are we have one currently in vet med school. This is the power of sports for you, the confidence you should get out of this. This will be you soon. It's nice to hear the all-conference stuff. Where I was proud was the 31 academic All-Americans total, the academic all-conference. And by showing young women how to lead, I have 43 alumni who are now coaching volleyball, which is an average of almost 3 kids per year that have gone on to do it. Some coach club, some coach high school, and 13 have gone on to become college coaches. It's their work. I get to stand up here and take credit for it. They did all the work. Your knees and the bruises on your legs, the ice packs on your shoulders, guys, that's where it is. And as a coach, I know this, and I suspect your coaches would tell you the same. I would hope they would. And now we're down the home stretch. This is the thank yous. In 2004, I owe a thank you to John Masterson from what was Allen County Community College, along with Randy Weber, the acting athletic director, since the actual athletic director, Dan Kinney, was in Iraq picking up the Silver Star, and Todd Francis, who was the assistant coach. Allen is a special place to teach and coach. Mr. Masterson, the president, gave me a chance to become a college coach after coaching high school, and it was spectacular on a nightly basis to see a college president coming and cheering for the home team. I love him to death for that, and I wish more administrators would be like John Masterson. Thank you to Ron Riggle for hiring me at Lincoln Land in 2006. I know the upper administration preferred the other person he interviewed, and Ron stood up and said we have a choice of politically correct or qualifications. And he decided to go with the qualifications, and so I was there. And I hope over 16 years that I made up for that and his trust in selecting me. And I thank him for supporting good and interesting times. Thank you to every athlete that played for me. I will not list them all, but I promise that I can name every athlete that paid for me at Lincoln Land. I can tell you where they are today and what they're doing. And aside for the NJCAA people here, since I can't make nominations anymore, I really think you need to put Kirsten Anderson in the NJCAA Hall of Fame, my player, since she was all-national tournament twice, All-American twice, went on, was All-American twice for NAIA, made it to a couple Final Fours there, a couple for us, and then because of COVID, got to play 2 beach seasons and played on NCAA teams that finished 3rd and won a national championship. So she got to play 6 seasons and never finished lower than 3rd where she was playing. Oh, and she was like a 5-time academic All-American. So just keep that in mind, please. Thank you to Stephanie Leonard and Joe Rubin as assistant coaches. Thank you to Kelly Vida, who played for me in 2006 and 7, and then 10 years ago was the assistant coach when Lincoln Land made it to nationals for the first time. Thank you to Laura Payne, who replaced Kelly after she finished her playing career and came back and coached. Laura is the one who recruited the athletes that played for us in 2015 and allowed us to get to a national title game. Laura was replaced, and my thanks go to Callie Sinkus, who coached in those 2 Final Fours and then decided she wanted to be a high school coach, where COVID robbed her of state title. Her team finished the year 27-0. And she took a team that she inherited that had 12 kids in the program, so that this past year she had 57 playing volleyball. Because Callie is an amazing leader, and I miss having her in the gym with me. Thank you to Will Clausen, who replaced Callie, made it to our 3rd consecutive Final Four with him. Thank you to Morgan Hauser, who is the person that nominated me for this honor. It means a lot to me to know that alumni are the people responsible for me getting to stand and talk to you guys for 10 minutes. Dave Peart, thanks for bouncing ideas around, teaching and coaching now in terms of volleyball for more than a quarter century. I am rather shocked sometimes you consider me a friend, but I appreciate it. And basically love you as a brother. One extra thanks before the last ones. When I was forced to step down, and this goes back to coaches, I didn't hear from anybody. It was kind of like I've been cut off from the coaching world and the volleyball world. So I owe a thanks to Mary Fromm from Heartland Community College. About a week after it happened, Mary called me and then made it a point to call me about once a week to see how I was doing and to make sure that I was all right. I seriously appreciate the empathy and the caring that showed in the humanity in that moment. The compassion and decency, I wish more people in this world would emulate. We'd have a better world. Thank you to my son Eric for being level-headed and reminding me that there is more to the world than volleyball and sports and somebody that we can bounce snark off of with your mother. Thank you to Michael, my other son. Your work ethic is amazing, and I love that you as a college student can manage being a student and athlete. In addition to being a Division I track athlete, you're working on restarting a men's volleyball club at your school. That's amazing. I love volleyball. We'll still pay your tuition too. Thank you to my daughter Brigitta, the volleyball coach. I'm glad My highlight is I'm so glad you were there the last time I yelled at an official. Oh my God, that was great. Aren't you glad you showed up that day? The first time in your life you saw me yell. I appreciate you for your teaching skills with young athletes and your willingness to relate to them on their level. I would hope that when your professional life settles down, you will go back into coaching as soon as possible. And then the last one, and I hear the A's coming, and it's the most important, is for Julie, my wife. Thank you for the emotional support last year when coaching ended abruptly for the moment. Volleyball came into my life on March 6th, 1990. You came into it March 14th. For 32 years, you've put up with me coming home frustrated, mad, ranting about players, administrators, other teams, bureaucratic paperwork bullcrap. You've put up with late night returns from road trips, my inability to be at your own professional functions, all the stuff spouses deal with when they're married to a coach. And let's just be honest, thanks for putting up with me. So thank you. For everybody here, I wish you good luck. Have fun. Play hard and leave it all out on the court. You 9 a.m. people, you were down to 12 hours and 11 minutes. And then it's showtime. Good luck.